Hello, my loves. How is everyone? Happy Wednesday. I hope everyone is having an amazing Wednesday. Okay, so I am going to play the intro really quickly. I'll probably play it twice and then we'll get started. So, this is not going to be a long live. So, 1 second. Let's go. Okay, how is everyone? I hope everyone is doing really, really good. Of course, I'm late because I'm always freaking late, but that's life, right? I'm really discombobulated here. I'm going to go get my coffee really quick. So, 1 second. Okay. So, first of all, you guys, I want to start off by saying that when I come on camera, don't mind my room. I'm in the middle of changing the aesthetic in my background, and it's a mess. It's a mess, but I'm not going to come on camera because that's what I do. I come on camera, that I like coming on camera, but this is something that I really wanted to talk to you guys about. Um, I don't expect to like get a lot of views on this because I'm sure most people don't care about what an empath is, but that's okay. Um, the people who are here, thank you so much for being here. Um, I'm very nervous about this live because I don't know, I've never really talked about this except for pretty much with maybe like 2 people. So I never in a million years thought that this is what I am. And the first time it was brought up to me was by a friend. And I was telling her, hey, only positive intentions. How are you, beautiful? And I was just telling her, I think we were arguing or something. We weren't arguing because we've never argued. I think we had a misunderstanding about something, and I started telling her how I am and how I feel about certain things, and how I can feel when people are upset, especially, when it's someone close to me, but it doesn't even have to be somebody close to me. And I was just explaining it to her, and for the first time, she was like, "Oh my gosh, you're an empath." And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "What is that?" And she explained it to me, and I'm just like, "Oh my goodness, I am, and I have been my whole life." So it's definitely something that I'm still researching, that I'm still trying to figure out, but I have no doubt in my mind that I am, and I have been. And I can even think of the first time that it was very apparent to me that I am an empath, and I actually told it to somebody else. And that lady, her name is Gen X, has entered the room. Um, hey Goose, hey Brandy, hey Ella. Thank you guys so much for being here. When I told that to her, she is also an empath, if I'm correct. And I'm going to open the panel so she can hop up here really quick, because it's like I told you, I don't want this to be a really long live, you guys. But I do have some good news for you before I open up the panel. They found the car. So it's actually good news and bad news. If you watched my last live, hold on. You guys, it's so messy back there. I'm so embarrassed. I'm sorry. It's a mess back there. But anyway, I'm getting rid of all of this stuff and getting new shelves. So I had to, it's a mess. But anyway, they found the car. They found it yesterday night. My fiance called me when he was on his way to work, and he's like, "Oh my God, babe, they found the car." Bad news is it was wrecked. So here's what happened. You guys aren't going to believe this. So these 3 boys, it was 3 boys, not 4 boys. I'm pretty sure they were about 14. What happened was they ended up robbing somebody in the car, which I told you guys, I hope they hurry up and find this car, because I know they're doing bad things. They ended up robbing somebody. They robbed 2, maybe 3 people, and they did a hit and run with the car. They did a hit and run. Now, mind you, these are 13 and 14-year-old boys. So therefore, they really didn't know how to drive. And my fiance's car is fast. It's an Infinity. They have really, really good motors in them. So they did a hit and run. And I don't know if they hit you know how you have those back of the trailers on your car? So they hit the back of a trailer. And I don't know if it was the person they hit that started chasing them, or whether it was the police. Somebody started chasing them when they did the hit and run. When they took off, they crashed into a police station. And when they crashed into that police station, they ended up hopping out of the car and running on foot. So they haven't found the kids yet. But they did find the car. Unfortunately, it's total. If they were to fix it, it would cost more money than what the damn car is worth. But yes, they ran into a police building. How ironic is that? Like, it's crazy. I think what bothers me the most is, how in the hell did they get away? How did they get away? But in the same sense, they're kids, and I don't know. But they found the car, and we already did, made an insurance claim, and we're already in the process of getting a new one in the next couple weeks. So yeah, that's karma for you. Only thing is that they got away. That's the only scary part. But I thank you guys so much for being here, like I said, and I will probably say it on my community post as well that they found the car and everything. And I'll show you guys a picture of the car too. They really did a number on the car. And I knew with them having the car and stealing the car, they were up to no good. So I knew that they were doing bad things in the car, and they ended up robbing 2 or 3 people. So it's a mess, and just crazy how they ran into a police station. A police station. Like, for real, it's crazy. But anyway, this is something that I've always wanted to talk about ever since I did discover that I'm an empath. I'm 100% sure that I am. And I wouldn't say that it's a bad thing, but it can be. It is insane. It's insane. You're right. Like, the fact that they ran into a police station, that's pretty crazy right there. But the good thing is that they found it, and hopefully they find the boys soon, because they definitely need consequences for their actions. And this is not a game. They took something that belonged to somebody else, and now they're running around. I just hope they find them soon, because it's obvious that these are very dangerous kids, and there probably hasn't been any consequences to their actions. That's why they probably have gotten away with things like this for a long time. So, but anyway, back to empath. It is something that, like I said, I don't necessarily, I know it's a gift, and I want to embrace it, but in the same sense, it's always something that has kept me very introverted, and as an introvert, and I never knew why. So I don't know, but I'm going to read the definition here in a second. As an introvert, I'm going to pin it. Okay. So I pinned the link. But anyway, I want to show you guys the definition of an introvert really quickly. So hold on one second. Just to show you. Hey, Jen.
I'm here.
How are you, sweetie?
I'm good. Can you see me okay? I don't want to kick myself out of here. Let me see.
Yep, I can hear you and see you.
Go. Hi.
Hi,
I'm so
beautiful.
sorry about your car.
Yeah, it happened on Halloween, and it was just a big old mess. And
oh my goodness. So I know this subject is a little nerve-wracking, like you said. It's not something that is, I don't go around telling people like, hi, I'm a clear cognizant,
Right.
I'm a clear seer, because they or an empath, and they just look at me like, what's wrong with you? But for me, I've had it my whole life. This is something that you're just learning. So I completely understand the nervousness, and it's so new. I'm having such a hard time hearing you. Hang on a sec.
Okay, hold on. I can turn up my mic.
Might be on my end.
Let me know, because then here, let me turn it up. Maybe it's low. Can you hear me better now?
It's about the same. I think it's mine.
Okay.
I'm going to jump out, and I'll hop right back in.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, you guys. She's going to come back and make sure you can see my screen. I want to show you just signs that you may be an empath, which one of them is major empathy, easily overwhelmed, strong intuition, love of nature, dislike of crowds, deep caring, problem solving, high sensitivity. And I'm going to exit out of that real quick so I can let her back on. Okay.
Much better.
So, what is your definition of an empath?
Ooh, I don't really have one because it affects so many people so
Different way.
differently.
Yeah.
Um, for me, for example, again, because I grew up with it. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
heard you mention nature as I was jumping in,
Mm-hmm.
coming back in. When I was young, I told you the story about how we always had hamsters and guinea pigs and rabbits, and they're all high energy. And I would just absorb all that and just hit the floor. I'd pass
Right.
out,
Right.
and um, so I can kind of give you the definition of me, my experience,
Mm-hmm.
but it's again, it varies. Women are naturally more empathetic. We're the nurturers.
Mm-hmm.
So we have that. Everybody has this ability.
Mm-hmm.
It's whether you're in tune with it by birth or you learn like in your situation later on in life. We
Right.
all have that ability. It's just, it comes to people at different times in their life.
Right.
So for me, I got to do this short because I don't want to take over your panel.
No, no.
Um,
Well, I know that you have to go to sleep, so I want to ask you as many questions as possible.
yeah.
And
So
go ahead.
okay, so
You're not taking
definition for me, again, I'm what's considered a clear cognizant or a clear seer.
mm-hmm.
What that means is I can not technically see. It's I can't give you your 6 winning numbers for the lotto. Sorry, it doesn't work like that.
Right.
But I can sense something before it happens. I'd given you an example recently.
Mm-hmm.
I dropped my daughter off at school, and before I let her leave the car, I
Mm-hmm.
told her that day, stay away from crowds. I just knew it's a gut feeling. It's all of a sudden my senses are really heightened.
Mm-hmm.
But it's that knot in my gut that I know every time, and it just flashed through my head. Stay away from crowds. She knows by now. She's like, okay. And that day at her high school, there were 11 fights, and kids were getting trampled in all those crowds.
Yeah, that's
So
crazy.
it's just something that just kind of flashes,
Right.
So that was hours later. Sometimes it's seconds.
Mm-hmm.
When she was born, couple seconds before it happened, I had her in my bed, putting her to sleep, and I rolled over and covered her with my my shoulder and my arm, and we had an earthquake.
Oh
It's
my God.
just it's so hard to explain, and there's a lot of naysayers out there that of course there's a lot of pseudoscience behind it, but then there's also a lot of people that are very spiritual and some are tarot readers. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of tarot readers out there.
Right.
I'm not. Um, Again, this is just a part of who I've always been, so I don't put it out there for everybody. I've had to learn to compartmentalize a lot of it. So,
Right.
but
When did you
if you have
first
any,
realize that you were?
when did I realize?
Yeah.
So it wasn't until I was just before my teens. I knew something was different with me. When I was little, because my mom was going to go out, and I was, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember freaking out, and I lived in a mountain town, and it was the middle of winter, and it was at night, and I freaked out, and I begged and pleaded with her not to go. And this
Mm-hmm.
was before cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
So when her ride got there, she told her that, I wasn't being myself, so she was going to stay home. Well,
Right.
the friend left, went down the road, roads were icy, and she got T-boned, and the passenger seat ended up in the driver's seat. That's how bad that accident was. And my mom, she was Methodist. She went to church every Sunday, went to Bible study every Monday night, but she was also very spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
She knew that she knew that there was something bigger out there than us, you know.
Right.
And so as I aged and I had more instances like this, she took me to meet with a spiritualist, a friend of hers. And
Mm-hmm.
that was the first time. I was about 11, 12 years old when I was told that's the first time I learned I was claircognizant.
Okay, so when so your mother was spiritual and religious.
Yes.
Do you think that what people saying that you can't be both, do you think that is true?
That's so hard. That's a hard question. Everybody has their own belief system.
Yeah.
For me personally, do I think it's true that they can be both? Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. My mom was a living, breathing person, who I witnessed, you know.
Mhm.
Um, she never, it was never talked about that my mom was an empath or anything like that.
Mhm.
Um, again, I mean, I still have her Bible with all of her little notes in it, and
Mhm.
my backstory about her passing away and stuff. And I have that. But she always gave us the option to go. She had us baptized, but she
Mhm.
gave us the option to go to church or not.
Right.
We started going to youth group when we were in high school for a couple of years. And, and when she passed, we just kind of scattered, and I walked away from all of that. So,
Yeah.
and I've since learned that, the peg that I fit in is agnostic. I'm an agnostic, and that's just basically the belief that, yes, there is something bigger out there than us, but I would be a hypocrite if I said I knew what that was.
Right.
So,
And also another question.
mm-hmm.
I'm interviewing you. Well, you're more experienced than me, so
Yes,
that's
go
why
ahead.
I'm really happy you're here.
No, I'm happy to be here.
Another thing, you guys, she wakes up at 3 a.m. in the morning, so she's not going to be able to be here that long. But I feel like when being an empath, does it feel like you connect more, or you should connect more with being spiritual than actual um,
Like religion.
religious? Yeah.
I think you can combine both, honestly.
Mhm.
You know, it's kind of hard for me because I'm agnostic, but I don't
Yeah.
see why you couldn't.
Do both.
Again, right? Again, because my mom, she went to church every Sunday, and like I said, Bible says she never missed it, ever, ever.
That's so
And um, you know, I,
awesome.
she had no problem. I don't see a problem with it at all. It's okay to have your own belief, whether it be God or Buddha. I don't, it doesn't matter.
Right.
There's something bigger out there. There's a whole lot of stuff we still, with all the technology and everything that we've done as the human race, there's
Mhm.
so much that we still don't know about the human brain.
I know.
You know, the the feelings that we get as women and the empathy, some research I've done, it goes back to like prehistoric time.
Right.
It's that nature versus nurture,
Mhm.
and these are senses that we all had back then. But over time, as we developed and we invented, some of these senses got put on the back burner.
Right.
We didn't have to use them so much. We didn't have to use our intuition as much. There's that saying, women's intuition. Always listen to that.
Right.
As I cannot stress that enough. Always listen. Women out there, listen to your women's intuition. It will never steer you wrong, ever.
But how do you trust that intuition?
Because I
Give
mean,
it
from
advice. We need your advice with
I
that.
need your advice. So, for example, so intuition is another term for, that gut feeling that you have, right? That knot in your stomach.
Yeah, but we
If
ignore it.
you go to cross the street and you get that gut feeling, take your foot out, put your foot back on the curb.
Okay.
You know, just believe you've got to trust the process. Is the best way I can explain it. Always believe that women's intuition is never going to steer you wrong. You
Well,
know,
this is from a man's perspective. Like my fiance, I
Mhm.
don't think you were here when I told the story, the crazy story on Halloween, how our car got stolen.
No, but I did catch it. That, yeah.
Now he had a feeling prior to walking in there. He's like, I felt it. He's like, I knew
Mhm.
it. But he's
Mhm.
like, I seriously thought that I was just being paranoid. And I think that's what a lot of people say. They don't listen to their gut
Right.
because they think, oh, I'm just being paranoid, like
Right.
just,
Right.
whatever.
Right. Exactly.
So I think that's the biggest problem for women too.
Yes,
Right.
absolutely. Women end up in you know bad situations, unfortunately, because they don't listen to their gut. They
Mm-hmm.
don't trust that intuition, you know.
And it's
um
there,
oh, it's always there.
always there. Right.
Hmm. Absolutely.
And what are the negatives and the positives of being an empath, in your opinion?
Oh boy. It's so exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
uh if I do not compartmentalize, I it zaps all my energy. I am done. I can't. All I want to do is sleep. And
Mm-hmm.
when I sleep, I have the most vivid, gnarly dreams sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It just sucks all the energy out of me. And so I've learned over the years how to compartmentalize.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, when, okay, so I'll use an example 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
Holy hell.
Right.
I'm on the opposite side on the continent,
Mm-hmm.
and the hair on my arms stood up all day long. I felt like I felt like I was underwater. It
Yeah.
was probably, next to my mother's death, probably one of the worst experiences I ever had with it.
Yeah.
It sucked everything out of me that day. Everything out of me that day, to feel all that pain and fear. And there was
Mm-hmm.
nothing I could do. There was
Right.
absolutely nothing I could do to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
I slept for 2 days afterwards. So that is definitely a negative. When I come across someone who's going through a really hard time, whether it be they've lost a loved one.
Mm-hmm.
COVID's been hard. COVID, with the pandemic, I've had a lot of friends that have lost family members. We've lost friends.
Mm-hmm.
I have to kind of steel myself for that and immediately start compartmentalizing all of my own feelings, and at the same time managing and juggling all of their emotions, you know,
Right.
and it's exhausting. That's all I can really say.
And that's the negative parts of it.
That's the biggest negative. Yeah. That, or you just know something's bad. You've got bad news. You feel it, and you don't want to tell your friend or your sister or your brother,
Right.
it's you've got to let it take its course, and then just be there for them to help them pick up the pieces.
Right. Right.
you know
I agree. I know that even, and someone reached out to me. I don't know if she wants me to say her name or not, so I'm not going to, but she reached out to me when I had mentioned, that I'm an empath. And she's like, I don't know if you guys, which I'm sure you guys notice, people probably make fun of me for it, but just like now, I
Mm-hmm.
I clear my throat a lot, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed I don't really clear my throat that much until I'm in deep thought or I'm withholding my words.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, like, there are things sometimes that I want to say, but I'm afraid it's going to come out wrong. So I try to be careful with the things that I say. Um, and in her opinion, she says that she feels like that has a lot to do with me being an empath.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree with her because I've
Yeah.
been paying attention now. And
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely something that's the reason why I clear my throat is it's more emotional.
Right. Yep.
I never understood why I was such an introvert and why I
Mm-hmm.
liked being alone.
Right.
And I figured out that it's so much when you're in big crowds.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It really is. And
Yeah. It is so draining. So draining if you let it.
right.
It's takes a lot of practice, a lot of work,
Hmm.
to learn how to just kind of block it off.
Right.
And sometimes I come across as mm, blasé, or I don't care.
Right.
And it's not that at all. I do. I care too much is the
You do
problem.
care. You care about so many people.
Right.
Yeah,
And so that's my biggest, that's a big problem. But positives are, I mean, my daughter didn't get trampled at school.
exactly.
She didn't get hurt.
And your
Uh,
daughter listened to you.
and oh yeah, she's learned that mom voice since she was little. You
Mhm.
know, when she was, say, 4 or 5, whatever, mom, I'm going to do this. And,
Yeah.
I tell you, you're going to, just like any mom would, I can feel it more,
Right.
Oh, you fell down. Well, I told you,
Mhm.
something like that. And so she's learned, when I use that certain tone, okay, mom, and that day she did everything she could. She went over by the gym at one point, and she just moved throughout the school throughout the day as all these fights were happening, and stayed away from all of it.
Right.
She, as soon as she heard it happening, she was going the opposite direction. um so that's a positive, huge positive for me. It's not like I turn it on and off per se, something like that. But if it's something, because she's my daughter, it obviously is there. It's telling me like, hey, red alert,
Right. Right.
protect your young, right?
Mhm.
So, and
Yeah.
that goes back to the prehistoric time. So we talked a little bit recently about, there's that term, the third eye, right?
Third eye. Mhm.
And the millennials have kind of taken it. No offense, millennials. I can already hear it. They've just kind of turned it into this thing. But what it is it's just an additional sense that we had,
Right.
you know.
Thank you
Be
for being here, Love Reigns. Good night, sweetie. Go ahead.
Okay. So besides, let's see. Do you find it difficult to say about yourself, I'm an empath? And how do you set boundaries regarding helping, being there for other people?
That's a good question.
Um, I don't really find it difficult.
And she tries to help so many people, you guys.
I
Like,
do. I really do. But then I also know the ones that I can't. I,
right.
I, I wish I could explain that, but I just don't know the words. My boundaries, I'm pretty cut and dry with my boundaries. I make them known to people when I'm helping them. This is what I will tolerate and this is what I won't tolerate. But
Mhm.
you obviously need this help. Um, this is what you need to do. Let me help you.
Right.
I will guide you through this, but you have to listen to what I'm telling you. If you're
Mhm.
not going to listen, it's pointless to me.
Exactly.
It's a waste of my time and my energy. And my
Right.
energy is everything.
Yep. Those
So,
are good questions, Lynn.
yeah, those are great. Thank you.
I think the most that I'm still learning. I'm not experienced as her. And we will talk about this again. But I think the most that I'm learning is I do have to protect my energy. And
Yes.
I have, there are energy suckers, blood suckers,
Yeah.
vampires, whatever the hell you want to call them,
Right.
that I'm having more of a low tolerance for.
Yeah.
Um, and also, I'm very, very more aware, more and more every day, of fake people.
Right.
I
Mm-hmm.
cannot, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I cannot be around fake or manipulative people.
Right.
I just can't. It's it's something in me that it just triggers something, and
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it.
Right.
And I used to be able to do it. Like, nobody wants to really not be around fake people, but I'm just saying some people don't know they're fake, or some
Mm.
people,
Right.
it's more of a manipulation tactic, or whatever the situation is.
Mm-hmm.
I have a low tolerance for it now,
Yeah. Yep.
and I
Absolutely.
can't take it because when you're around fake people, you're being manipulated. That's what it is.
Right. Because they're portraying themselves out to be something that they're
If
not.
they're not.
So that with me, I can tolerate it only because I'm able to. Again, I always go back to compartmentalizing, um, where it doesn't. I see them for what they are.
Yeah.
Um, I get that feeling, and I can go, okay, you are not, no matter how hard you come at me, you're not gonna,
Right.
it's not gonna bother me. I'm sorry. That's cute, but nice try, but it's because I'm able to take that and just put that away,
Right. Right.
um but I can absolutely see how your tolerance completely drops for that, because it does, it sucks the life out of you,
Mm-hmm.
you know
And the thing is with me is I don't necessarily know it very much in the beginning. Sometimes it's hard for me to catch on in the beginning.
right,
It's getting a little bit better,
right,
obviously, but it's hard for me to catch on in the beginning because when you're
hmm,
a good person, you want to believe that a fake person around you is a good person as well.
right,
And then the more and more you observe, because I can tell you right now, being an empath, that's one of the main things I've noticed is observing
hmm,
is key.
it is absolutely,
So I'll sit back and observe and be still and be quiet, and then I'll start seeing things,
hmm,
or I'll be told things, if I ask, because I'm very blunt and straightforward. If I feel something, I'm going to tell
right,
you.
yeah,
And I just started noticing I can't do this fake shit anymore. Like
right,
the more I grow and the more I realize things,
hmm,
I just can't do it. It almost makes me sick.
right.
It really does. And I
So while
just
you're saying this, though, it's putting a smile on my face, because I can feel that, like I can feel that excitement, because you are opening up more and you are starting to see things. I tell folks all the time, when you finally tune into that, the world becomes so much bigger than you ever realized. It
right.
is massive,
Mhm.
massive. And so there are days where I'm just, tootling along about my day, doing my thing, my little routine every day. And if I
Mhm.
stop and just focus, it grows. It expands and grows, and I can hear everything. I can, smell it's pretty fucking cool. Sorry. It really is. Um,
I can't wait till I get there.
it's really, really neat, but if you do it, during something, some say a riot. Okay, I'm just going to throw that out there. Say you your your town is getting looted, whatever you want to call it, and
Right.
you open yourself to that, man. That's a scary thing, because you're seeing the evil in people, and you're seeing just the ugly side of humans,
Exactly.
and it's so heartbreaking, and it's so sad,
And
so you
being
just want
around
to make sure you're in a safe place when you do something like that.
right. And being around bad people is definitely
Yeah.
something that I feel more of. And um seeing people get their feelings hurt, or if a friend is hurting,
Hmm.
I could feel it.
Hmm.
I Even when they don't say anything, I just know. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yep.
And that's how I found out that I am,
Mm.
because Melissa's the one who pointed out to me, Melissa Jade.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You're an empath." And
Yeah.
something that stood out to me that she said, she's like, "It's hard because not only do you have to deal with your own emotions, but you have to deal with everyone else's
Yep.
around you."
That's exactly it.
So the last question:
Yeah.
what is your advice to people that try to ignore it instead of embracing it?
Don't ever ignore it, because it's just consider it an extra tool in your tool bag.
Hmm.
It's once you learn, and I told you, study, go old school, read books from back
Yeah.
in the day when they were really researching this stuff. That's where you're going to learn a lot. Talk with more people, go meet with spiritualists, educate yourself, and then you'll learn the ability to use that tool, and it can make your life easier. Um, and it does in certain ways for me. For example, I don't ever worry, you know, with my husband being in construction always ebbs and flows. And there's
Yeah.
times where he gets worried, and I just look at him and I always tell him everything always works
Work.
out. It always works out.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be okay, and it does. It works out just fine every single time.
Right.
So don't ignore it. Do your homework. Don't be shy or nervous or embarrassed to talk about it. I
Mm-hmm.
think there's still this kind of taboo or, you know, negative outlook on it. And
There
so I do see a lot more people these days more open to it now, especially again with, I see a lot of tarot readers,
Yeah.
whether it's here locally in my town or on YouTube or, when I travel, that's a big thing now.
Mm-hmm.
That's just something I've never been interested in. I just
Yeah.
trust my gut and go.
Right. Yeah, I don't necessarily that's some I'm not I don't think I'm ever gonna be there. And
Yeah.
no offense to anybody who does that,
No, not at all.
but I just that's not me, you
I
know.
just I don't have the interest for it, nor do I have the time, I think.
Right,
You
right.
know.
But you
But
would be good at it if you did it.
yeah, probably, maybe. But I just excuse me. I just live my day every day and, raise my kid and, have fun with you folks, here on YouTube. And yeah, it's really no different, you know, uh, again, because there's a term. So for folks out there that are watching or listening, um, some of you may have felt this way for your whole life. Look up the term indigo child. So
Indigo.
that's when I had that major freak out when I was a kid.
Mhm.
My mom took me in and introduced me to a bunch of people. I don't really remember them because I was so young, but I do
Mhm.
remember hearing the term indigo child a lot.
I've
And that
never
will
heard
explain a
before.
whole bunch about you or your children.
Mhm.
If they seem to not so much that they're disrespectful to authority, but they, for instance, I hid under my desk in preschool because I did not want to hear what the teacher had to say. Was not interested whatsoever. I was very into, I wanted to go outside. I wanted to play with the ladybugs. I wanted to, put my feet on the ground.
Mhm.
You know, it was just this overwhelming urge. We are very, not argumentative, but when we're kids, we're very blunt.
Yeah,
And it's because we have that extra sense, and we
exactly.
think we're normal. We think that this is how we're supposed to be and everybody else is wrong.
Mhm.
So when you're 5 and 6 years old, here I'm freaking out. My mom, you're wrong. Don't go, don't go. Well, look
Yeah.
what happened. I told her not to go. She didn't go and she would have died then
Yeah.
had she gone. So yeah, definitely look into that. Don't ignore it. Do your homework.
And then how do you find a spiritual person? Like you said, to find a
Well,
spiritual advisor?
so
Is that what you said?
you want to find a spiritualist,
Spirit.
someone who you want to do your homework because there's a lot of people out there that play the part,
Oh yeah.
um, and it. It is and it isn't. If you're truly an empath and you're really good at reading people, you'll know.
Right.
There is so I'm claircognizant. The one above that is clairvoyant. These folks are your true mediums. They're the ones that can see and talk to um, the in between. We'll call it.
Mhm.
That's their superpower. I don't like to say psychic because it's just so overused. I always call it superpower just because it's fun.
Right.
Um, there's a really
It
good
does sound
one.
better.
What's that?
It does sound better
Yeah,
than
it's my superpower. There's
yeah.
a really neat lady that free spirited,
Spirit.
um, that I met out here in Los Angeles, and I had quite a few meetings with her, and she's actually gone out and helped, on police investigations and things like that. She travels the world. So just do some homework, now that we have the internet, it's a lot easier. Um, check on reviews, talk with others like you, see if you can build a network. That's
Mhm.
always helpful.
Yeah.
um, I ran across a clairvoyant on a Facebook buy sell trade page. She was selling
Really?
something and we started talking and we both just kind of knew, and we clicked, and I still talk to her, and she's since moved to Utah. you
Wow.
know it's just you're gonna be kind of, you're gonna pick up on one another. It's just that
And
extra sense.
clairvoyance is
Clairvoyant is they can see and speak to
the okay.
the
Okay.
ice. I like to joke that I see dead people,
Yeah.
past loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
uh the one that I used to go and meet with and talk with all the time, she could, so she worked with the police. She would talk with the police, and she would actually or usually ask for a item of clothing or something that was near and dear to that person, and she could feel that person, where that person was, where their last steps were, things like that, and lead the police to, there's a few of them out there. This one, her name is Hollister Rand. You
Right.
can look her up on Google. The last time I talked to her, she lived in Canoga Park in Los Angeles area. So she's a really neat lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you can just look her up and get a hold of
Yeah.
her. Oh, okay.
Yeah. She
I might
has an
have to do that.
assistant now. I mean, she's grown. I mean, we're talking 20 years now.
So she's bigger now.
She's a lot bigger now, but she does have an assistant that can put you in touch with her and stuff like that if she's not available. Because again, she travels a lot.
Yeah.
So she's one. Um, yeah, you're gonna you'll find them just like we found one another, right?
Right.
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 So I like to tell people our paths are always set out for us. We just don't know where they're going yet, but they're going to lead us to the right people.
Absolutely. And I've also learned that everything, everything in life is connected.
Oh,
In some
yes,
way,
for
shape,
sure.
or form. Everything's connected. It's like connecting the dots.
Right.
Every emotion that you feel, every everything that you go through, it's all connected, and it
Yeah.
all goes back to when you were a child. This is why you do this. It's
Yeah.
it's all connected.
Absolutely. It sure is.
I am so happy that
I
you.
am too. I'm really happy for you.
Well, I want to talk about this again.
Yes,
I
for
want
sure.
to go more in depth with it.
Okay.
So we'll plan out like a lot together.
Okay. Sounds good. Absolutely. Especially as you're on your journey, kind of
Mm-hmm.
tuning in. And I will send you some info on some books because I want you to read the old school books.
Right.
I think that's really important because,
I will.
Google is, what is that saying? Not everything you see on the internet is true or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
That's true though.
right.
Google. Everybody thinks Google's right about everything.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I am the first person. I'm going to Google it. I'm right there. I'm like, you guys are arguing over an answer here,
Mhm.
and no, I don't know the answer. Again, it's not that easy. I can't give you your lotto numbers. I can't do anything like that, but I can sense things. I can tell you if somebody's, especially women, because they're so emotional, I can
Yeah.
read them really well
Hmm.
and tell what kind of person they are right away, right off the bat. The moment they speak,
And I love
you
that
you know
about you.
usually.
Yeah. And I
So
absolutely adore that about you. So
thank you.
you're
Well,
welcome.
thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
And thank you for being on. I love you. And
I
I
love
will
you too.
talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, sounds good. All right.
Okay.
Take care,
Some
folks.
rest.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. She's so amazing. She is like literally, I thank God that I found her because she's very easy to talk to. She wants to help everybody, and that's actually how I met her just by her wanting to help somebody else. So yeah, I'm really happy that she came up on panel. Now, only positive intentions. I know that you um are you I can't remember, but if you're welcome to come up on panel, or you can come up on panel next time. And then Susie G, I know you have gifts, if abilities, whatever you want to call it. If you want to come up, you're welcome to as well. However, I am going to do another live about this. I just wanted to talk to you guys about this a little bit, because I like to talk to you guys and get your opinion, um, and that's why I call the title. So I'm an empath. Now what? So now what is the biggest thing that I am learning, and as I'm growing and paying more attention to things, I'm learning that see, I'm learning that I need to protect my energy. It's important, and it's definitely something that I have never really done. I can honestly tell you guys that when I meet someone, uh, I can't especially say that I'm just this great judge of character, um, and I know right off rip how a person is. I just don't know that yet. I don't follow my gut as well as I should. So I am trying to learn more how to protect my energy, like I said, and follow my gut, because I'm one of those people that do not follow my gut. If I meet somebody, oh, don't get me wrong, I will get those vibes and I will get that energy, but I like giving people the benefit of the doubt. However, sometimes people just aren't worth the benefit of the doubt. It's just not, it's, sometimes you have to protect your energy and you can't give people the benefit of the doubt. That's one of the reasons why so many vampires come into our life, and energy suckers or whatever. That's why, because we always want to give people the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes it's just not worth it. It's just not. Hey, Nicole, thank you so much. I appreciate you. That means a lot to me. Thank you. I hope you're doing well, Nicole Morgan. I'm very, this works for me. I don't care what a book says or what anyone says. I do me. Absolutely. I think reading books is more for research and, just trying to get ideas and be more educated on what an empath is, or whatever your feelings are, whatever, when it comes to empaths. But that is where I'm growing. I'm starting to learn to how to stay on that high vibrational energy, and I'm starting to understand that sometimes, that's my biggest thing is you could be the nastiest person in the world, and somehow or some way I'm always going to try to give somebody the benefit of the doubt. And that's not always a good thing. Sometimes people just aren't worth the benefit of the doubt. Let someone else give them the benefit of the doubt. And I have learned that I don't and haven't protected my energy. And now I'm starting to not give people the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going more by my gut. And there's a situation that, my fiance is in, and not just what happened to him on Halloween is just one of them. But I just feel like my fiance is, his name's Terrell, by the way. Terrell is too nice. And sometimes you just can't be nice to people because they have bad intentions, and you just have to be careful with who you're nice to. And that's where it goes with me. I am going to start paying very close attention to the people that I surround myself with. And if I feel in my gut that something ain't right about somebody, that's just how it is. And I've noticed that when you surround yourself with people like that, they suck everything out of you. You're constantly overthinking, and you're constantly overthinking as an empath anyway, and you're constantly just worried all the time. When it's too much. It's too much. Let me read some comments before I wrap this up. If it's okay with Tia, I can toss my email address in here for you. Only positive attentions. Feel free to reach out to me. I can give you a couple of tips so you don't doubt yourself so much. Definitely. I'm okay with that, Gen X. I've been subscribed to you, Tia, for like a year. Every time I came on one of your lives, I'm always subscribed. Well, thank you, Venomous. I appreciate you. for being subscribed. I really do. That means a lot to me. Yes, my husband is exactly the same. Such a great guy, but gets stabbed in the back all the time. I try to warn him all the time. Exactly. Exactly. And I think sometimes some people can be too nice, and people take advantage of that niceness. You have to be able to know when a person is trying to set you up, or if they're just not. No matter what, you're to blame because you're supposed to be smarter. But in the same sense, you just some people you just can't be nice to, you know. And I have continued to learn the hard way, and I don't want to learn it the hard way anymore. I'm tired of learning things the hard way. That's all there is to it. Yes, Gen X is absolutely amazing. And hold on one second, because I gotta. Hold on, you guys. Okay. To be honest, girl, I need to start doing my nails more often. But I love typing with fake nails. I love it. Okay. And that is, I just put Gen X's channel. It's Gen X has entered the room in the comments. You guys go check her out. She's absolutely amazing. And she's amazing. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. So now what is, I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to protect my energy more. And I think that's very important. The first time that I remember, oh my God, my nails are a hot mess, y'all. The first time I remember, there's an instance where when I was little, my cousin, I was probably maybe about 7 or 8 years old. My cousin had a boyfriend, and my cousin used to babysit me. She always had her boyfriend over all the time. And every single time he would come around, when she would have him over or whatever, I would scream. I would look at him, I would scream, and I would run all the time, every single time. Every single time. Like, I would scream, and then I would peek on him, and I'd scream again. One time I started shaking. It was really bad. And even my mother, which I know my mother was an empath as well. But at that time, I don't know why I was doing that. Like, why every single time I seen him, I would scream and run. I got a really, really evil. I just remember something evil overcoming. Like, I could feel it when he walked into the room, and I would just always run. And my cousin used to get so freaking embarrassed, like, what's wrong with her? She would say that to my mom, like, why does she do that? Why does she do that? So weeks, maybe not weeks later, but years later, I remember my mother talking to my cousin, and that guy was a murderer. I didn't know it then, but I ended up knowing it. And now that I know that I'm an empath, I put two and two together. That's why every single time he was around, I, I I couldn't be around him. I would scream and run. It was like I was scared of him, but I didn't even know who he was. I just knew that that was my cousin's boyfriend, and I didn't like him. Turns out that he had murdered some people. So um, that was a first, and I'm sure there's many more, but that's the first time I realized, thinking back, those were the kind of the first feelings that I had as an empath. It's definitely something that I'm going to embrace. I'm not going to ignore it. I'm sure many people do. Um, all I can do is try to do the best I can by people that I love and care for, and not even just that, in general. But I think the biggest thing that's important when being an empath is protecting your energy. You should always protect your energy. But when you're an empath, obviously you are very sensitive to people's energies. So you have to really, really be overprotective with your energy, because it's easy to get sucked in. Tia, your abilities are not of just this lifetime beautiful, and they are a lot stronger than your ego is willing to believe or give into yet. Told you this before. Yes, you have only positive intentions. And I know that you took a break from the internet, and there is nothing wrong with that. But feel free to reach out to me anytime, sweetie. Society closes children off. Like, don't be silly. There's no such thing as imaginary friends. Exactly. We tend to, and my Terrell and I had been talking about that, because we tend to what do we do with our children what we shouldn't do. We don't embrace them, if they have an imaginary friend. We're always holding them back from their full potential, in my opinion, when it comes to children. We're always telling them, no, this is not right. You don't have an imaginary friend, or no, you didn't see that ghost over there. You don't know what you're talking about. When really you should be saying, you seen a ghost? Okay, well, where is he? What does he look like? Embrace it. Don't let them think. We need to let our children live up to their fullest potential, and not deprive them from being brilliant, and from having those gifts. You know, it is crazy, Lynn. That's the first time that I realized that, okay, that's why I was screaming when I would see him. I felt his evilness. So maybe you're more than an empath. You're very intelligent also. Thank you, Venomous. I appreciate that. I try to be. Don't always work. But I think that's my biggest problem, is I get sucked in a lot. And now I'm going to start paying more attention to the people that, I'll get those vibes from, but I'll ignore those vibes and give them the benefit of the doubt. And it always, 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 always blows up in my face. My twin brother had an imaginary friend named Woo Woo. We have videos of him talking to him and calling him when we lived in the country, when we were like 4 years old. Wow. Wow, that's awesome, though. That's cool that you recorded it too, Goose. If anyone in here open to discussion, you are an empath, just saying. Right, only positive intentions. Encourage it, don't dismiss and suppress their abilities. Exactly. Don't dismiss it. Don't sit there and be like, no, you didn't see anything. It's okay. We tend to do that to our children. Let your children live up to their fullest potentials. Embrace everything, anything they see. Okay, well, what did you see? Where? What did he look like? What's his name? Don't sit there and tell your children, no, you didn't see anything. That's nonsense. No. And Terrell and I are definitely getting to a place where we're trying to be more like that. And I don't even think that we as parents do that on purpose. It's just the way society has trained us to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think some parents do it on purpose, I'm sure, but I think the majority of parents do that just because of how our brains work, you know? Tia, you take on others' feelings and emotions, and you haven't been able to distinguish that they are others' feelings. Right. I get what you're saying. I need you to elaborate on that a little bit more. Only positive intentions. That's a very interesting statement right there. My parents recorded it. I specifically remember the one where he was in a tree calling him, "Woo woo, where are you?" Wow. And I'm sure he's seen, I'm sure he had an imaginary friend named Woo Woo. I feel like children are especially gifted, and it needs to be embraced more, for sure. I have had more than one person, only positive intentions. She has abilities as well. Um, I have had more than a lot of people tell me that me being an empath, it goes beyond that. That I don't really know about. I do know that the history in my family um, is deep. Now, mind you, you guys, I'm half Indian. Um, and Indians are very, very spiritual, very spiritual. And I know that it goes far back to my family doing voodoo and different things like that. And I actually just um, was told that from my cousin who's older than me. Um, she was telling me different stories about our uncle who practiced voodoo and different things like that. I have a deep history with my family when it comes to that. I do know, I'm pretty sure I had witches in my family as well. I mean, if someone is mad at the grocery store, you might go home irritated and not know why, but you are angry. That makes sense. I just know that I have had, friends, true friends confide in me and tell me things that I really didn't pay attention to and didn't see. And when I did see it, I'm just like, are you stupid, Tia? Like, why didn't you listen? Um, and then as I sit back and observe, I'm like, wow, wow. Um, and and it's not like I didn't have those feelings. And then I had my friends telling me, the couple friends that I have, whatever. Then I had my friends telling me, Tia, you don't see it, but you will. And then I will see it, and then I'll be like, I always had that feeling, I just ignored it, and I just wanted to give people the benefit of the doubt. But like I said, sometimes I feel like, especially with being an empath, you have to be overprotective with your feelings, with your emotions, and overly protective with your energy. And you can't always give people the benefit of the doubt. You just can't. Some people rest solely on the fact that you as a person give people the benefit of the doubt. And sometimes you just can't. You just can't. I believe, like I said, that everything is connected. I believe that everybody that's in my life is in my life for a reason. Everybody that I've met in my life, I've met them for a reason. And some I've unfortunately learned things in a negative way, and some I've learned things in a positive way. And I can honestly tell you guys that I learn every day off of people that are in my life, whether it is, and I am a very, very guarded person as far as being friends with people on the internet. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's different. But I've come to realize that when you are meeting somebody real, it's not different. And when you meet somebody real, you know it. You know it. I do feel like we're surrounded around a lot of fake people here on the internet. We just are. Look at TT. I thought she was cool. I was completely wrong. But I had that feeling when I met her. I knew. I just ignored it. And I'm like, oh, she's a sweetheart, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? I should not have ignored that. And I've come to a place of finally saying, being an empath, I'm not going to ignore those things anymore, or I'm going to try my best not to. You're learning about this gift, though, so don't be hard on yourself. Thank you, Goose. I get a bad vibe now. I'm out. No judgments, but I just won't be close to that person. I don't know who you're talking about, only positive intentions, but if you are getting a bad vibe, I completely understand. But you can message me anytime, only positive intentions. I used to think there was something wrong with me, that I could feel things about people that other people couldn't. Always came across a pessimist, but I couldn't control what I felt. Exactly, Susie G. Mel Hook says, since this is a small group and you are talking about this, I will mention my experience. I have been at a healer session that when I was 12, and I saw the healer let a spirit take their form. Oh, wow. I wish you can come up and say this, Mel Hoax. But if you don't want to, understand. Yes, this is a small group. People don't care about this kind of stuff. People care when you talk about drama. That's about it. But that's okay. I'm happy that it's a small group. I have no problem with that. So if you want to come up, you're more than welcome, or you can just tell us your story in the chat. Yeah, I'm sorry that you're getting a bad vibe. Right, Venomous. But I've been told that. I guess I haven't accepted it yet. I've been told that I'm probably more than that, but like I said, I have not accepted it. Broken, traumatized children running around in adult bodies, hurting others rather than taking a look at themselves and facing the trauma. Yeah, that's really what it is, to be honest with you. There's nothing, but I just don't even, we're all surrounded around fakeness here on YouTube. But like I said, there are a lot of people that I've met, not a lot, but there are some people that I have in my life that are real, and I'm happy about that. Okay, good. I didn't know whether it was somebody who came in here. I like small groups, but my kids are here and I don't want to speak out loud. That's okay. Go ahead and say it in the chat, Mel. And once you say that, then we're going to wrap this up. But I do want to hear this story for sure. But yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with this, you guys. So the now what is, I'm going to embrace being an empath more and just trust my gut more and believe in myself more and protect my energy at all cost. And, you definitely meet a lot of energy suckers on the internet. And, I'm not going to do it anymore. Like, I'm just not. I love the people that I'm surrounded around, and I'm not saying I'm not going to be open to meeting new people. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that protecting your energy pretty much means keeping your guard up and not letting your guard down, and being more questionable. And if you get that feeling in your gut, don't question it. Just don't go with it, because eventually either you are, if you meet somebody, regardless, either you're going to go by your gut and leave them alone, and then you're going to sit back and watch and be happy that you went by your gut, because you're going to watch the show and you're going to watch that they are exactly what your gut was telling you. Or you're not going to listen to your gut. You're going to ignore your gut, and you are going to talk to this person. And then guess what? You are going to be hurt and mad because you didn't listen to your gut, and you're going to sit back and observe and be like, why didn't I listen to my gut? So it was a setup for this spirit to go into him so it could help the people. I went with my grandmother and aunt, and my aunt could barely walk. The healer called her down and had her walk, and she did. I've seen that, Mel. I have seen that. I know it's very controversial, and there are a lot of people who are doing it as a scam. But I watched this thing, and you know what? I definitely am going to do a live about this. But there is this guy, and you know, he is like a traveling church or whatever, traveling pastor. And I guess he's healed people. Well, they did a documentary about it. And there was this one guy. Oh my gosh, my heart. He was paralyzed from the waist down. And he had traveled, like, I think, oh my gosh, I don't know where he was from, but he was from far away, and he traveled very far to get to where he was. It took him a long time to get to this. It's not a seminar, but obviously it's a pastor who a lot of people pay to go in, and he heals people. So this guy who's paralyzed, travel, obviously it's hard to travel anyway when you're paralyzed. And just for this one night, or I think he was there for 3 nights, and this guy paid for 3 nights, which was very expensive. Hotel is expensive, but he was determined because he knew he was going to be healed. My heart broke for him. They tried it the first time. He didn't walk, because it's a huge crowd, you know what I mean? A whole bunch of people pay. It's a huge crowd. There's like hundreds and maybe even thousands of people there, and he's healing people. So this guy, it's in front of everybody. He's in a wheelchair, and they're trying to get him to walk. And here's the pastor saying, walk, or he touches his head and says, walk, and whatever. And those 3 days, he did not walk. And it was the most heartbreaking thing I have ever seen in my life. And the reason why they were doing this documentary is because they were trying to reveal, or pretty much show people that this guy was a scammer. And yeah, there are some people that this guy has healed, but this man was so let down, him paying so much money to see this pastor that's supposed to heal people. He's paralyzed from the waist down. Obviously, the doctors told him there's no chance of him ever walking, and this was his last hope. And he tried so hard to walk. I cried, you guys. He tried so hard to walk, and he touched his head and said, walk in the name of Jesus, start walking. He didn't walk. And it was the most hurtful thing that I had ever seen, because he was so disappointed. So those 3 days, he's there, and this pastor is saying, you're going to walk, you're going to walk, you're going to walk. And he just knew, because the lady was interviewing him, and she was saying, listen, you're going to walk. And, he's telling her, I'm going to walk. I'm going to walk. I don't care what the doctor says. This pastor is everything, and he is going to heal me. And he didn't. And it was the most painful thing, one of the most painful things I had ever watched. Like, it broke my heart. She couldn't even move. Well, when we left the house and after the healer, she was walking without any assistance. I believe you, Mel. I believe that there are healers out there. I also believe that in a lot of ways, now I'm not saying this, let me just put it to you guys this way. I was watching one of my favorite rappers. Well, he's not one of my favorites. He's my fiance's favorite, which is Kevin Gates. And Kevin Gates is a very spiritual guy now, and his wife is very spiritual. They actually left their like huge mansion to live on a farm. She's one of those people. Kevin Gates' wife is one of those people. Her name is Drecka Gates. You guys can find her on YouTube. She does vlogs and things, but she literally, when I watch her, she has the most beautiful energy. Like, her vibes, her vibrations are just absolutely amazing just from watching her. And one day they were on an interview, and people were like asking them questions about spirituality and things like that. So they gave an example, and I've heard this example before. So say you are into holistic medicine or whatever. It's very controversial, but you have your child, and say your child has a fever. There are people out there who believe that you have the power to heal yourself. And as a mother, you have the power to heal your children. So if your baby has a fever and you were to hold your baby, and, you know, become one with your baby, I guess, obviously, loving your baby, holding him while he has that fever, your baby is going to, that temperature is going to drop faster than if you would give him Tylenol. So when I heard that, I'm like, wow, now holistic medicine is very, very controversial. Okay. Because there are stories also out there that contradict what he said. Okay. There are stories out there that contradict. There is a woman who is in prison now because she refused to get her baby the help that he needed. However, that is what he said. He said, if you were to just hold your baby, love your baby, embrace your baby while he has that fever, he will lose that fever faster than if you were to give him Tylenol. So look up Galbermate if you would like. Absolutely. Releasing past trauma, disease, dis-ease. Wow. Yes. And energies, frequencies have the power to heal. Yes, that's basically what he was saying. Love that baby with all your energy, embrace and guarantee he will lose that fever faster than if you were to give him Tylenol. So I don't know if something I'm going to try. I'm not saying that I wouldn't, though, because I do believe that our bodies have the power to heal itself. I do. I absolutely do. But I do believe that there are limits. And you have to be careful, and you have to be able to know those limits. I have a link where you can watch this documentary for free. Mind blowing. I don't know I think only the mods can put the links, but if you have me on Facebook, Only Positive Intentions, you can send it to me there. And I will definitely check it out. Whatever went into his body was scary and creepy. I didn't like being there. So that whole healing situation made you feel uncomfortable, Mel? Is that what you're saying? I actually did that with my daughter when she was really small to try to regulate her temp. I laid on the couch with her without a shirt on. Hold on, I lost it. Oh, I laid on the couch with her without a shirt on, and she had only a diaper on, and held her for 30 minutes, and it helped. Oh, I probably do. I'm gonna try it. I pray to God my child doesn't get any fever anytime soon, but I'm definitely gonna try it. I know it sounds a bit crazy, but it helped. Now with her bigger, I'm not sure. I believe it pretty much really wouldn't matter. Not sure I do, babe. Ask me if you don't have me on Facebook. I thought you were on my Messenger. But my Facebook, all of my social media links are in my About section, Only in Positive Intentions. So you can definitely get a hold of me there. I know what you mean. I know what you meant. But yeah, that was very interesting when I heard that. And like I said, it's definitely something that I will try. But like I said, there's always going to be things that are going to contradict others. All people are always going to try to debunk this and debunk that. And like this one lady I was watching, because I like to get both aspects, and me being religious, she was talking about how the laws of attraction don't work. However, I've seen so many people where the laws of attraction have worked for them. You just have to be 100% invested in it. So I don't know. Yes, it's all of my social medias are in my About section. So this was such a fun conversation, you guys. I loved the intimacy in this live. There's a difference between choosing holistic medicine and refusing Western medicine for your children, in my opinion. If holistic isn't working, then why wouldn't a mother want to try anything to help their children? I think that's why I said there are limitations to it. You know what I mean? It's just it's more about what you're willing to try. But there are definitely mothers out there who practice holistic medicine and it works for them. And then there are some mothers where it doesn't. There's always going to be different situations that work for some, and then for others it doesn't. It just depends. Sounded even worse when you read it out loud. I was going to read it, but then I know what you mean. But I loved the intimacy of this live. I loved how everyone is so open and honest. And like I said, I'm an empath. Now what? Now what is? Tia is going to protect her energy. Tia is going to encourage other people to protect their energy as well. Tia, I'm referring to myself in the third person. Tia is going to try to encourage her friends to protect their energy. Tia is not going to keep her mouth shut. If I see something, I'm always going to say it, but I've always been like that. I'm just going to start embracing this more, researching it more, and maybe going beyond that, just like Venomous said, that there's more to me than an empath. And I've been told that by a lot of people, only positive intentions. I've had so many people tell me that. And like I said, there's history in, you know, my heritage. There's history of witches. There's history in, especially being half Indian. Like I said, Indians are very spiritual, and we all know that. So I am going to just protect my energy at all costs and be not just protective, but overly protective of it. Not everybody deserves the benefit of the doubt, you guys. And when you get an energy off of somebody, you need to follow that. If you get a bad vibe off somebody, you need to follow that. Quit second guessing yourself, because like I said, only two things are going to happen. Two. One is going to be, you're not going to listen to your gut, and you're going to go ahead and, whether it's dating or a friend or whatever, you're not going to listen to your gut, and you're going to go along with it and not listen to your gut, and then you're going to end up getting hurt. Or you're going to follow your gut and sit back and watch that your gut was right, and you're going to be patting yourself on the back saying, good job, I listened to my intuition. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it either, as long as your child is safe and can get help. Right. I really love this live. Thank you for sharing your world this way, Tia. And I thank you for sharing Only Positive Intentions. And I thank you, everyone, for being so open, because I know that this is not always easy to talk about. It's not. It wasn't easy for me to talk about, because people seriously look at you like, some people, not all people, can be very judgmental when it comes to you know, that they can be very judgmental. So I loved how, you know, it was a smaller group here. I adore you guys, and I really appreciate you guys being so open with me. If someone would say they can heal, I would say be precautious. Even though I have seen it, there are cons out there. Absolutely. When I truly believe that this pastor, and you guys, I'm going to do either a video or a live about this pastor. I truly believe that this pastor just got very lucky and was able to heal some people, but I do believe he's a con artist, because he has been caught being a con. And that is one of my biggest, like, I can't stand it when people take advantage of the vulnerable. It pisses me off so bad to take advantage of vulnerable people. It literally rips my heart out. So that's why I do want to talk about this, because he's walking around saying that he's this healer. And I just think that, and he's a millionaire. Okay. Yeah, he got lucky and he healed some people, but to seriously tell this man that is paralyzed from the waist down that you're going to walk. I promise you, you're going to walk. I'm going to heal you. And I'm going to tell you, walk in the name of Jesus, and you're going to walk. Jesus heals. I know that. But there are just some things that it's just not going to happen. And to put that in this guy's head, and he traveled from really, really far, paid so much money to see this man, and thought he was going to be healed. You should have seen the hurt on his face when he touched his forehead and nothing happened. You know, you touched his forehead. Okay, walk. He didn't walk. And it was just it was just heartbreaking. You know, this guy's a scam artist. He's a millionaire right now, and he doesn't deserve to be. He's taking advantage of vulnerable people. And no, I don't like it. You are very insightful. I do enjoy your lives. I appreciate you being here, Mel. Only issue I have is if someone tries to judge and say how I do things is wrong. No, I don't think everybody does things differently. Your ancestors always walk beside you, gut or guide you, Tia. Wow. Thank you for telling me that, Venomous. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that you have a gift as well. Yes, thank you guys so much for being here. I love you guys. Thank you, Boston. I love you guys so much. And, you know, you guys always make me feel comfortable to talk to you guys about these things. So protect your energy at all costs. It doesn't matter whether you're an empath or not. Protect your energy. Go by your guts. Don't even question it. Just do it. Okay? Just do it. Do it. Like Nike. Just do it. That makes me want to cry. That man would have put all the heart into being able to walk. Yeah. And he told him he was going to make him walk, and nothing happened. Imagine that. Like, no, this guy's a scam. I can't remember his name, but we'll talk about him. He's very popular. He's very controversial. A lot of people have been talking about him for a while. Oh, you're a psychic medium. Oh, okay. Venomous. You're wonderful, Tia. Always feels so great being here. And I'm so happy to have you guys here. You guys literally are just so awesome. And I love you guys' energy too. Well, if you ever want to get a hold of me, Venomous, excuse me. You guys see? It's weird. At the times that I clear my throat, it's very weird. But if you ever want to get a hold of me, Venomous, all of my social medias are in my about section, and that goes for anyone else. Subscribe before you leave if you haven't already. Thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to watch me and spend some time with me, because your time is precious. I will be back on here tomorrow for, what is it called? Makeup Tutorial Thursday. I forgot what it was called. I will be back here tomorrow. So if you love makeup, make sure you join me tomorrow. Pretty sure we're going to be doing cut creases, and cut creases are fun. Very fun. I love you guys so much. And yes, do you have a channel, Venomous? I will. I was just about to ask if I could. Absolutely. I would love to hear from you, Venomous. And if you have a channel, let me know, and I'll look it up and I'll put it in the thing. The Sugar Skull is going to be not this week, but next week. But I'm still doing the Sugar Skull. I'm Australian, so different time zone. It's Thursday afternoon here. I know, that's so crazy. Yeah, and my nephew moved to Australia, and he absolutely loves it. He got married. He just had a baby, and he loves it there. And I can't wait to go visit him. Thank you, Goose. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you. I will see you guys tomorrow. Like I said, thanks for asking that, Boston. The Sugar Skull will be not this week, but next week. But I'm still doing it. And I'm sorry if it's offensive to people, whatever. Like, you know, people get offended by anything. It doesn't matter what you do. People are always going to get offended with every fucking thing that you do. And I just don't care. God, no, I've never been on YouTube. I'm just a watcher. Oh, well, maybe one day you might want to start a channel, Venomous, especially if you are a psychic medium, for sure. And contact me on my social media. I am always available to talk. whether it's Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram or Snapchat, whatever is comfortable for you. Oh my God, Tia, if you make it to Australia, let me know. I live in Brisbane, Australia. Absolutely. Oh, I'm going. I'm going. Like, and my nephew did this very spontaneous. He just picked up, he met her on a dating site, you guys. He met his wife on a dating site. And he literally, because my nephew was having problems here anyway, and he literally met her. They talked, and had like an online relationship for about a year, and he left to go to Australia, and he married her. They just had a baby, and he never came back. And he said he is never coming back to America. So yes, I will definitely, Susie, because I'm going to see him. I miss my nephew so much. He actually just lost his mother, which is my mother-in-law. May God rest her soul. She just passed away not too long ago. But yeah, I will definitely, Susie, because I'm going. Oh no, sad I missed this conversation. Hi, Tia and chat. Yes, come to Australia. Oh yeah, I'm coming. Don't worry. I will let you guys all know when I'm coming. It's probably going to be within the next year or so, but I'm definitely going to see him. Yeah, she was sick for a while. She was sick, and she had had a stroke in the past, but I didn't know that she was recently sick. But yeah, she just passed away, and I don't think he was here though. My nephew, he may have came back for, I don't even think that she had a funeral, to be honest with you. But my nephew, I think he might have came back obviously for his mother's funeral, but he said he's never coming back to America, and he loves Australia. So a lot of people come to Australia and never go home. Want to meet you in person. Absolutely. That would be so awesome. And I am. I'm hitting everybody from Australia. You, Susie, you, Nikki, everybody, you want to see me in the next year. So I will be visiting him and his wife and their baby. So I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here again. I will see you guys tomorrow for Makeup Tutorial Thursday. Again, my fiance, the car was found. And I'm really excited about it, even though it's all wrecked and whatever. If you don't know the story, watch the replay, because I told you guys the story of how they found the 3 kids, and hopefully they find them soon, because it's obvious that these kids are dangerous. So pray that they find these kids, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I love y'all, and have an amazing night. And this was the most amazing conversation, and I'm not going to say anything else. Have a good night. Bye. Wait, I got to do the outro. I got to do the outro because I forgot to do it last time. So I'm going to do it now.